of the Darkening of Valinor. My vision slowed, as if it feared what it must show me next. A hush fell over Valinor so deep that even memory seemed afraid to move. I was taken back to see how the Darkening of Valinor began. I felt myself drifting beneath the boughs of the two trees in the hour before their death, when their mingled light still breathed gently across the land, unaware that it was already being hunted. There was a strange sweetness in that last calm, and it pierced me with sorrow more sharply than any cry. Telperian's silver dew fell softly upon the grass, each drop catching the world within it. Lorelin answered with a warm glow like a living heart. The Valar walked openly in those days, and the Eldar sang without fear. Nothing yet seemed broken, yet everything was already leaning toward ruin. Only Melkor was absent. I sensed him before I saw him, a pressure rather than a presence, like a storm gathering beyond the horizon. He had walked freely among the Valar for long years, speaking fair words, wearing patience like a mask grown thin. Now that mask was cast aside. He fled Valinor in secret, not eastward as many expected, but south, into the deep shadows where light thins and hunger grows. There, in a place where even memory recoils, he met Ungoliant. She was not shaped like the children of Ilúvatar, nor like the Valar, but like an absence given form. In the dream, I could barely look upon her. Light bent away from her, sound died near her, and where she moved the world seemed to forget itself. She had once dwelt in the far darkness beyond Arda, feeding on light until even Morgoth feared her, yet he came now in need. "What will you give me?" Ungoliant whispered, though her voice was more a gnawing than a sound. "Anything," Melkor answered. "All that I can seize, all that I can ruin." Thus they came to Valinor together, cloaked in unlight, a darkness so thick it was not merely the absence of brightness, but its devouring. I felt it roll across the land like a suffocating tide. Birds fell silent, leaves curled inward. Even the Valar paused, troubled, as though a wrong chord had been struck in the music. Then the unlight struck the trees. Ungoliant drank first. She pressed herself against Telperion and Lorelin, draining their radiance as one drains life itself. The silver sap flowed and was swallowed. The golden fire dimmed and vanished. Melkor followed, striking them with his spear, as though cruelty alone were not enough. He wished to leave a wound that would never heal. I felt the moment Telperion died. It was like the loss of a great memory, something ancient and kind being erased. Lorelin lingered longer, and in her final agony she gave forth one last fruit of living flame, blazing briefly against the dark before falling silent. Valinor cried out. Yavanna ran to the trees and knelt between them, her hands shaking as she touched their dying bark. "Too late," she said, and the words fell like ash. Even with the light preserved, the trees cannot be remade. Manwë stood silent, the wind stilled around him. Varda lifted her eyes to the stars she had kindled long before, and their cold fire alone remained to comfort the world. But Morgoth did not linger. He fled, and Ungoliant wrapped him in her darkness as they rushed northward. The Valar pursued, but the unlight confounded them, and the land itself seemed to twist in confusion beneath that crawling void. Only at the borders of Aman did Ungoliant turn upon Morgoth, for her hunger was no longer satisfied. She demanded the Silmarils, which he bore hidden beneath his cloak. When he refused, she ensnared him in webs of darkness and began to choke even his vast power. I felt the terror in Morgoth then, not the terror of defeat, but of being consumed by something more ravenous than himself. He cried out, and his Balrogs came to him, tearing through the webs with whips of flame. Ungoliant fled howling into the south, swollen with stolen light, and Morgoth escaped into Middle-earth, wounded in pride but triumphant in theft. Behind him, Valinor lay changed forever. The Valar gathered in council, and the light of the two trees was no more. Only the stars endured, and in secret, Varda kindled new hope from Lorelein's last fruit and Telperion's final flower. But I felt, even before those deeds unfolded, that an age had ended. In the darkness, the Noldor stirred. Fëanor felt the loss like a blade in his chest, for the light now lived only in the Silmarils, and in them, he believed, lived his very soul. His grief hardened into resolve, and resolve into fire. The unrest that had begun as whispers now burned openly. As the dream lingered on the fallen trees, I felt a sorrow deeper than fear settle into me. For the darkening of Valinor was not merely the loss of light. It was the moment trust itself was wounded, when even paradise learned that it could be betrayed. And from that wound, all later sorrows would flow.
Like lanterns pale and bright, tears of fire, fruit of light, all the west in gentle keep. Footsteps hiding in the shade, broken oaths a shadow made, something cold begins to breathe. Serpent steel and cloaked desire, hands of night against the fire, every promise turned to stone. Spider hunger, hollow eyes, starless threads across the skies, drink the daylight to the bone. Soft the air, faint refusal silent.